Claude is our Jira, Claude is our Salesforce, Claude is our SAP, ERP, Claude is our Glean. Uh, Claude is our operating system now, one system of context, one software. That is your every SaaS app essentially. And for the last 20 years, enterprise software has looked the same. I mean, one tool for engineering, one tool for sales, one tool for hiring. On an average, large organizations use 300 to 500 SaaS apps. That's massive. But then you ask yourself this question: what does it take for Claude to be your that one software that's essentially every SaaS app that you were previously using, right? And when you ask this thing, like what companies like Palantir offer large enterprise today is not really software. It's that operational intelligence. It's that operating system. And we think if we build that foundational infrastructure that allows Claude to give that level of operational autonomy and that level of intelligence within the organizations, that would be an incredibly exciting thing to do. But the challenge with that is models alone cannot replace SaaS stack. I mean, you need foundational infrastructure around that model. The first 80% of the software that brings determinism, governance, permissions, memory infrastructure, MCP integration, agentic orchestrations. You all need that. And for that thing to happen, we started to pursue the idea of hyper. The fundamental lie about transformation is that you will innovate and someone else will make the thing. That's a lie. The people who make the things are the people who actually innovate. The moment you outsource the making part, the moment you see the opportunity of innovation. And that's one thing we want to change with Hyper. We want every person in the workplaces and in the factory floor to build their own software and computational stack without ever writing a piece of code. So Hyper is this agentic engineering platform that allows any foundational model like Claude or Codex to replace SaaS and become one unified software for everything organization needs. Think of like operating system. Like if you go to taskbar in Windows or go to Mac and see how many of those sub processes are powering the operating system layer. That's what Claude is. And every process in Windows or Mac that's powering that operating system, that's your SaaS app now. And that's the vision what we are bringing forward. If we really achieve that, we can solve these 100 years dreams of Jeffrey West of information asymmetry. And if we solve information asymmetry for organization, it could unlock new revenue streams and it would allow organizations to pursue breakthrough ideas that were never possible before. So let me give you a quick overview of how you can build a production ready software by combining the best of the Hyper and the best of the Claude. So you building a system that you can trust on, right? Which is ready at day zero. So the first thing is here we are building a partner CRM, right? As you can see in the screen. So every choice you take here, because this is an agentic engineering platform, so it's not just like next. If you're taking a SaaS/productivity decision into your overall platform choices, it's going to impact how the architecture is going to build, how scalability is going to be impacted. So make sure you choose these industries wisely, which actually reflect where your product experience belongs. The first thing where we spent a disproportionate amount of time is context acquisition agent. Like Code Ninja is a software services business too. So over the years, we've spent a lot of time building software. So we know how the business analysis experience looks like, how to acquire the context, how to take the requirements, how to build complex function specification documents and all that. We brought all that experience and baked it right into this agent. And now there is very specific custom engineering of prompts that we're using here that allows customers to come up with the requirements so we can acquire all that context and transform that context into a right kind of architecture. So, for example, in this partner CRM, I'll give this requirement to this system. And then you can select any model. But generally, from the standpoint of designing an architecture, so our engineers found Gemini to be incredibly good, right? And then we have hardened it based from our experience, wrote very custom prompts that harden that have hardened that model. But you can bring any model of your choice, right? You can also generate sample data. Now head to the architecture. If you see in my screen that we are building all those models, architectures that allow us to build this software the right way from the day one, rather than just keep on iterating that traditional software platforms work. So we call it system 2 thinking or system 2 design experience. Okay, it took some time, and this agent returned us few starting pieces of software. The fundamental thing that I think that you care about is security, access controls, the overall relationships. That needs to be right? If you get this part right, and in the next few steps, we'll explain a few more things, but then it allows us to build and bake the enterprise logic the right way from the start in the starting piece of software, right? So now we'll build this system. Since we have all those access controls, we have all the model architecture ready. So once you do that, the system brings you into the studio, right? Now, there are a couple of ways you can build the starting piece, build the software. One is you can use manual automations, or other is you can use AI that's being hardened to make sure that you get all that experience, all those agentic engineering right into this one AI agent, what we call Hyper AI. So, for example, the first thing you want to perhaps do is you want to make this software headless. What it means is you want this software to be available in any copilot of your choice. Like if you want to use this from Claude, if you want to use it from Cursor, you want to design it from that perspective in mind. So, for example, what you want to do is configure MCP, right? For this whole experience, you can say configure MCP. Now, if you see, there are certain tags that our engineers have built in. Like we continuously want to focus on that we guide system in a way that it keeps control of the context. So this tagging engineering is all because we really want the agentic experiences to really focus on the thing that we are trying to achieve with this. So for example, in this, we really want the system to build MCP experience, all the MCP tools that allow us to connect this software with any copilot of your choice. So there you go. So you see, now we have Hyper AI has built all these MCP tools for us. You approve this from here, and you can also verify these MCP tools from manual configurations. You can see these tools are available now, right? After that, you really want you want to generate dashboards for this system, right? So you go back to Hyper AI and you select this area, this whole tagging system, and select dashboards. And then you write this like generate dashboard for this application based on the context of the system. Here again, you see, I've tagged this whole prompt with a specific tagging context that allows system to really narrow down the context. It allows the developers or tomorrow's developers to do the context engineering right. So let's see if we can create the dashboards now. Right. One of the things about dashboard is like the way I use it, I'll show you at the end, is like I try to create most of my experiences from the Copilot, right? The way I use this is like build in Claude or Cursor, run on Hyper. So that's my experience. Like I use Hyper as a starting piece and a governing platform, but most of my experience is being computed on Claude, on the Copilot. But then you want certain users that are probably, you just want them to have these screens. You don't want them to have an access to Claude. So you really want that certain experiences, front-end experience, to be built right within the Hyper. So this dashboard thing, probably, I really wanted to show the capability of the platform. You can build this right into the platform, from the platform. So here you see that the agent has completed the dashboard experience. And if you see that it's taking far more time than traditional vibe coding experience, the reason for that is, as we explained, that we, rather than just keep coming back to you, we really want the agent to have, to take that task and then distribute it into sub-agents and then come back with a completed task. Rather than, in this experience, we are prioritizing the correctness and deterministic nature of the software more than just speed. So if you see here, you can verify the dashboards from here, you see. So you can see this dashboard experience, right? The third thing, probably once you're done with the dashboard, what you want is you can set up the themes. You can select any theme, any color of your choice. Now you want to publish the software. So what you can do is you can go to publish, right? Now here it's a pre-deploy analysis. If you see, the checks are passed, but in this pre-deploy analysis, there are generally there's an AI agent that analyzes your code, that makes sure that all the proper guidelines of the code is being followed, right? And only if you have really written, or if you have generated the right kind of code and you have taken right kind of choices, only then it will allow you to go for deployment, right? So this is a very specific agent. At the macro, it's a one agent, but then there are certain sub agents. They're continuously analyzing the whole code quality. Now you go to the deployment. Now we have this system ready, right? It's deployed on HyperCloud, and now it's the front end code is being generated separately, and the back end code is generated separately. There's a very extensive documentation. You can also have a look. But I want to give you the full experience how you can bring this into Claude now. So let's say we open this. Okay, let's register the user. Let's say this email. So let's call it admin, right? And register. Okay. There you go. So that's your software. Now, what you want is you want to use this not from here, but from Claude, right? That's my suggestion, and that's my core idea. The reason for that is, like, with every such piece of software, you want to generate a vibe coding terminal, right? And we want people to build on top of it from Claude or Codex to build their own workflows while having all that governance structure in place, right? So this is basically 80-90% of the software. So what you do is you go to MCP configuration, you copy this from here, then you go to Claude. This is my Claude, and then you go to settings, and you just need to configure your connector. You let's call it partner CRM, paste it here, and add it. Now, this is your Claude, and you can see that's your partner CRM, and you can build custom tools. You can build all that vibe coding experience on top of your software. Let me give you experience of like how I'm using my own Claude workflow, and how we've replaced most of our SaaS platforms with Hyper, with Claude on top of it. And the way you bring Claude on top is you really want to allow all of your operational users to build headless experiences on top of that core platform that we built. For example, for partner CRM, if you see, I mean, you can see this, that's now available. But the thing that I really want to show, which is very exciting for us, is like my CRM. This is my own CRM. It's now, I mean, I've never opened the dashboards of the CRM, the dashboards we've generated through Hyper. So I built my own dashboards on top of the core platform that we've built, right? So this is my CRM. Then you see I've replaced my application tracking system and all that. I brought it in here, and then I built our Jira, replaced our Jira here. So these are the three core platforms that we've replaced with this just one platform, Hyper. And then I've been using multiple agents that are continuously doing work for me. Manfred Max. These are some names of different sci-fi characters. So that's how I am using my workflow in the Claude. So the core idea, if you see the live artifacts in the Claude, that allows you, I mean, think of it as like building a software is like downloading an app. So all your front-end experience should be available in the live artifacts, and there are different agents that I call system of context agents. And those agents, what they do is like they talk to all those subsystems like Jira dashboards, this Shikamaru dashboard, which is basically Jira, then our application tracking system, which we replaced, we built after replacing Workable, and then our own CRM that we replaced with HubSpot. So those agents now talk to those systems and transform all that experience into system of context. And the whole experience, all this agentic experience, is because like we need to do all that agentic engineering, that memory engineering that allows us to fetch context from all our subsystems in a way that any CIO or CEO can take decisions that were not possible before, and can ask questions that were unimaginable to ask before this system of context. So what we really want is to replace your internal SaaS stack with this internally built software, and then allow your operational users to build on top of it. Who can build a better software? Like an accountant or an engineer? Of course it's an accountant. Who can build a better performance management system? An HR manager or an engineer? Of course, an HR manager. So give those terminals, vibe coding terminals, to those operational users and allow them to build internally. And I will come back to the starting point. We talked about like historically, this software services businesses and SaaS vendors sold this idea like we would build for you, and we would do all these heavy lifting for you, and we would tell you how you're going to do sales. I mean, humans are unfathomably different, right? This David Dutch said that, like, and you want that differentiation to be baked into your whole organizational strategy, and you want your users to innovate. The moment an HR manager asks an engineer to help me build a performance management system, the context switching is so heavy, like you lose all the innovation there. And again, I'll come back with Shyam Sankar said, like, the fundamental lie about transformation is that HR manager would innovate, right? I'm replacing this functional roles here. The HR manager would innovate and engineer would build. That's a lie. The people who make the things are the people who innovate, and the people who innovate are actually the people who end up building things. And that's the core idea of Hyper Platform.